Hey guys and girls, Rusty here. Today I'm going to check the compression on the 454 on the 3/4 ton GMC, and I'm also going to go ahead and remove the torque converter bolts, push the torque converter back, and just give this engine one last chance to show that it's broken or not. But I'm pretty sure it's the engine's gone. Really feels like a piston let loose inside of there. But anyways, we are going to check the compression. I think I got one cylinder down on this truck. I was hoping it would come around, but it never came around with the hundreds of miles I've driven it since I was starting to sort this baby out. So if that one has a cylinder down, we'll probably pull the engine before it does any catastrophic damage, and we can get probably some new rings in there. It'd be my guess what's went wrong. Since everything rotates fine, and we'll have that 454 on standby probably for the C10. I do have my 350 in the garage, and that's what I would put in here. The transmission works excellent, so that's not a problem. I got the tires and the brakes sorted out. So in order to be able to drive this truck, we need a good motor, right? So it is what it is. Same story here as before. Going to make sure the engine's indeed broken, and if it is, I'm basically going to grab all the parts off of this thing that I could use on my 1-ton F350 1984, same year as this truck. Lots of parts carry over, and then I'll have to go ahead and send this one either on Facebook Marketplace or to the scrapyard. I'd hate to put it in the scrapyard. I'd rather do Facebook Marketplace and sell it for scrap price. Someone could rebuild it if they wanted to. But I am going to take all the parts off it I want, so it's going to be a little bit limited on what a person could do with it without spending a lot of money after I get done stripping it. Anyways, I'm going to get set up for that compression check. I'll check it cold, I'll check it hot. Pretty sure we got a dead cylinder. If it's making like 0 or 40 psi when it's cold, there's no point in even turning the engine on unless it turns on by accident while I'm cranking it. But I'm pretty sure I got a dead cylinder, or at least half dead, and I don't want to do any catastrophic damage to a block and heads that can be used to be rebuilt if I don't have to. So I'm gonna get set up and I'll bring you in for the test. Okay, here's a spark plug of the cylinder in question. It's not terrible, it's wet, but it's not terrible. Anyways, before I had verified we weren't getting much heat in the cylinder, and also I verified by pulling the plug that cylinder didn't seem to be making much difference plugged or unplugged. So gonna go ahead and get the compression tester screwed in down here. It's not much that you can see with camera angles, so I didn't want to bore you with removing a spark plug, but I'm going to get that in there, and I'll get the gauge, and then I'll crank it, and we'll both find out together what's the story. I'll bring you right back as soon as the setup is ready and I'm ready to crank this thing. Okay, as you can see, up to this line is 50. I'm expecting this thing probably be somewhere around 40. If it's over 100, I'd be surprised. And what we'll do is we'll check this one cylinder, which I already am pretty sure is bad. Like I said, I checked the wires and nothing. And I checked the heat with the temperature gun and nothing. Well, there was heat, but just soaking over from one cylinder to the next. Anyways, I'm gonna get in and start cranking, and you watch that needle, all right? Here goes nothing. Yep, just about like I expected. She's basically on the bottom. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and check another cylinder just so you can be satisfied that I know what I'm doing. but I'm guessing that number 1 cylinder is probably going to make 150 or at least 100. Let's go ahead and check that one just to verify our tool, and then we can say this engine's ready to be pulled. Here's what that number 1 spark plug looks like. It's trying to get some proper lighting for you. That's looking about typical. Anyways, we don't have like a hot tune on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and get this screwed into here, hooked up to the gauge, and we'll compression check that one, and then we'll seal the fade on this engine. Okay, I got this baby in number 1. We're gonna go ahead and crank it. If it's 3 times what the other one was, you know, that's a pretty clear signs of what's going on. Either we got a valve problem or we got a ring problem, or maybe even a hole in the piston, who knows. Yep, about like I expected. And this is a cold compression check. Engine has not been started. So that's going to be the story of the GMC C25, not a 2500. They didn't come up with that name till later. Anyways, that engine's going to have to come out, and my 350 is going to have to go in. And that's all there is to that. Next up, we're going to get under that F-150 and see if it is also dead. Okay, here we are underneath the F-150, and this is the little dust cover for the torque converter. Going to go ahead and remove that. Here's what it looks like with the little bottom cover off, and that right there is a stud that comes from the torque converter to the ring gear, and that's what we're going to remove. Well, guys and girls, this turned into a little more of an adventure than I thought it would. Let me get this other glove on. So it turns out I loosened up the torque converter, but I noticed the actual flywheel might be broken. It could be the crank's broken. Oh yeah, it's the crank's broken. Because if you look over here, when I make this noise, you see the balancer and the pulleys and everything aren't really moving. But we're getting this amount of movement over here. But I'm hearing some compression, so it's actually moving a piston back here somewhere. Listen. Could you hear it? Maybe it's up here in the front. Listen real close. Hear that slight hissing noise? I'll probably have to boost the volume level, so bear with me, but listen. Anyways, so that means the crank's moving inside, but it's not moving the balancer and the pulleys up in the front. So we have suffered some serious catastrophic damage. If this was moving and I didn't hear that piston making a hissing noise, then I wouldn't be so worried. And I would think that it was the broken flex plate. But that much movement coupled with the sound of a piston moving up and down in the cylinder, I hope it shows up in the video. That's gonna be it. We're gonna crawl out of here and call it a day. So the F-150, she's cooked. And for my F-350, I'll see if the doors fit, because the driver's side door of my F-350 and the fender on the driver's side could stand to be replaced. And these are just like some chrome trim pieces, right? I wish the bed would fit. I'd convert that F-350 back to a single axle like it came from the factory. But let me see if the styling's the same on this door because of the trim package. Let's see what the F-350 is working with. I don't think it's the same, which is a little bit sad, but also less work for me. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's got this little dent in here. And it bumps out. Here's the damage, right? So, let's check it out on the other one. Because I can replace a door and a fender. Not too much dramas. Let's check it out and see. If it's just those trim pieces, I can knock them off. It'd be nice to have a complete, solid, nice body work on that truck. Yeah, I think it's just the trim, which realistically I could probably pull this trim off, but it's more work than it's worth to pull it off on the other side and add it to the other one. Unless I add the whole front end. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. We could add both doors pretty easily if I wanted to. Both doors and keep the seat. I'll have to think on it. Anyways, F-150's done. GMC C25 needs a different motor. And that's the update for this weekend. Thanks for watching. I'll try to cut this in such a way that it's a nice video. And see you on the next one.